Here's the Pixel 4 and the Pixel 4 XL. Are you surprised? Of course you're not surprised. These are probably the most leaked phones in the history of phone leaks. What could possibly be surprising here? Well, I've played around with them a little bit, and I think there might be a couple of things that I've learned from using them that you couldn't actually know just from following all the leaks. So let's get into it. You know the basics. They're Android phones that are made by Google, and they come in two sizes. There's a 5.7-inch screen and a 6.3-inch screen. There's no notch on that screen, but that's because the bezel up top is extra big so that Google can fit a ton of sensors up there, including face unlock sensors and a literal radar chip. But let's start with just how they look. Every single Pixel phone has looked terrible in leaked photos, but better in person, and that's true again here. The aluminum rails around the Gorilla Glass are kind of prominent, but in a good way. They're like the phone equivalent of big, chunky eyeglass frames. The white one and the orange one is limited edition by the way, have matte glass backs, but the black one is all glossy, and they're all IP68 water resistant. They've got that big square camera bump just like the iPhone, but the Pixel only has two cameras on it, a regular and a 2x telephoto. Okay, so every Pixel phone up to now has been known mainly for its great camera, plus, clean Google software, but the Pixel 4 wants to be known for a lot of things. It seriously has so many new features, and they've all leaked so much that it's easy to forget how much is new here. Let's start with Motion Sense, which is the brand name for Soli, which is that radar chip. Google isn't using it to its full potential yet, but it is using it for some pretty cool things. It forms a sort of virtual radar bubble over your phone, and it can detect your presence. So for example, if you reach for your phone, it turns on and it starts looking for your face automatically. If you walk away from your phone, it realizes that you're gone and it turns off the always on display. If a call comes in or an alarm goes off, as soon as your hand gets near the phone, it automatically gets quieter, and then you can just wave to dismiss the call or the alarm. And if music is playing, you can swipe left or right to change songs. That's actually pretty much it. So it all could seem, kind of gimmicky. I haven't decided yet. But there is one gimmick that everybody is going to love. You can have a Pokemon wallpaper that you can wave at and the Pokemon will wave back at you. Or you can tickle the Pokemon by waggling your fingers at it. Just be like, tickle, 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 tickle. It's fun. In addition to the radar, the top bezel also has those face unlock IR sensors, which work just a little differently on a technical level from Apple's Face ID system, but it's basically the same idea. You set it up in a similar way and then it just works. Like, it really works, and it's really fast. Did you catch it? It just unlocked. Here, let's show you again. I don't know how secure this new system is, but holy hell is it fast. Motion Sense detects when you're reaching for the phone, and then it's unlocked and back to whatever you're doing before you can even tap the screen. It's so fast that Google had to put a setting in for people who actually want to see their lock screen, because otherwise you'd never actually get a chance to see it. And hey, since we're talking about the screen, let's talk about the screen. It's OLED in both phones, and they should be about the same quality as each other, but I don't know if it's going to be a good year or a bad Pixel 2 kind of year for screen quality. But it is going to be a spec-heavy year because this screen does a 90 Hz refresh rate, which makes all of the movements super smooth. Now, Google says that it's a dynamic refresh rate, so it can ratchet it back down to 60 Hz when you don't need it. And I gotta say, you can definitely see it in person. I love how it looks. Google says that it supports HDR using the UHDA certification, which, okay, sure. The screen can also change its color temperature to match the room, just like the iPhone. Now, the thing about fancy 90 Hz screens is they can take up a lot of battery, and I'm worried about the battery on the small one. It's only 2,800 milliamps. That variable refresh rate will help, but we're gonna have to see. The bigger one is 3,700 milliamps, which is better, but it's not massive. At the very least, they both support wireless charging and fast charging. And heck, since we're halfway through it, let's just round out the specs. They've got a Snapdragon 855 processor, 6 gigs of RAM, which that should be enough, and they come with 64 gigs of storage, which ain't much, and the max you can get is only 128. There's also a Titan security chip and one more chip, the new Pixel Neural Core. It handles the photography stuff, but it also handles voice, and Google has loaded its entire machine learning model for English onto the phone, no internet needed. That means that the assistant is super fast at doing stuff like opening apps or even searching inside apps like Twitter or YouTube. And there's a new voice recording app that transcribes your voice in real time without having to put anything on the internet at all. Okay, finally, made you wait long enough. Let's talk about the camera. Up until the iPhone 11 Pro, the Pixel 3 was still the best camera on the market, and the Pixel 4 now is, well, actually, I can't tell you that yet. We haven't really used it yet, but there are a few new features to talk about. Google is excited to tell you that it can do astrophotography, which, sure, that seems neat, but I'm more interested in the improved portrait mode because it can use data from the second camera. And now, in addition to adjusting brightness, you can also adjust the shadows to get more control over the HDR processing. Plus, that neural core means that you can see the preview of what HDR Plus looks like right in the viewfinder instead of having to wait for it to process. The main sensor is 12 megapixels and the telephoto is 16. And my big question is, why did Google go with telephoto instead of ultra-wide, especially since it's only a 2x telephoto? Well, Google's answer is that they've got this fancy super zoom tech from last year, and it gets even better where it can use data from the second telephoto lens, so they think people will get more use out of it than they would out of an ultra-wide. Okay. There's only one selfie camera this time around, but it does have a 90-degree field of view, so that is pretty wide. Also, last thing, there's this neat feature where you can take a photo and then jump right to sending it to another app right from the viewfinder by sliding on the preview bubble. But here's an important thing. I don't know if video is going to be much better this year. It still maxes out at 4K 30. And when I asked Google if they had changed much about their computational photography models overall, their answers were more about tweaks than they were about leaps. Look, we're going to have to test the camera, as always, and we definitely will. The Pixel 4 will be on all 4 major carriers in the US, and Google promises me they're not going to put too much crapware on them. I'm looking at you, AT&T, don't mess this up. Anyway, there is a lot more to say about the Pixel 4. I didn't even get into like automatic car crash detection, but the big stuff is face unlock, a 90Hz screen, motion sense, and hopefully a better camera. It's a little bit more than I expected from the rumors, but these aren't huge surprises. Oh, right, you probably want to know how much it's going to cost. It's going to start at $799 for the small one and $899 for the big one, and then it's $100 more for 128 gigs of storage. They're available for pre-order right now, and they should ship on October 24th. Is that the right price for this set of features? Well, I'm not going to tell you that right now, but what I will tell you is that I cannot wait to review it. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. Have you been waiting for the Pixel 4? Did Google live up to your expectations after all those leaks? Let's talk about that down in the comments, and also keep an eye out for many more videos from this Google hardware event.